received the logbook just a short while ago. We're just making copies of the logbook.
How big is the logbook?
It's about 5 pages.
5 pages only?
Yes. It starts on the 1st and ends on, I think, the 22nd or so. It's not the
1st of what, June?
Yes, it's just 5 pages.
So
20.
The defense needs time to study it or what?
Well, I would imagine so, not an awful amount of time. Just
okay, just again then until what? 11? How much time do you need? 5 pages.
Sorry to interject. According to Mr. Baloyi, the copies are wrongly made, incorrectly made. So
okay, it could be incorrectly made.
He says it's a mess up. I really want to use that word, my lord. So he's going to make proper copies for us. So I think 30 minutes.
So you don't have copies at the moment?
We don't have copies, essentially.
Okay, Mr. Baloyi?
Yes, indeed, my lord. We just asked someone to make copies and they've been jumbled up. We just request, I think, about 15 minutes that should.
Okay, you let me know when you're ready. Okay, we'll adjourn until then. It records that street. Is that not so? So if it was on Collins Street, I hear you say you have to join Collins on another way. But if it ever traveled on Collins Street, should it record? It records that, as far as I can see.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's continue then.
Let's continue. Mr. Mukhan. Let's look at 1852. Okay, it's 1853.
1853.
It reflects Mali Street, Fairwood Park, Albertine.
Iboncha Mali Street, Fairwood Park, Albertine.
Sorry, 1853.
Witness is still looking for it.
Page 31.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, we are on page 31, my lord.
So, from 1853, when you were at Mali Street, Fairwood Park in Albertine, so you start up the motor vehicle. Did you switch off the engine of the motor vehicle at Mali Street?
Ge benje le le gona mola mo Mali Street go tlogelleng nako ela ya 1853 lile la tima koloina ge benje le mo Mali Street. Yes, I did switch it off.
Lana ke ngo 1853 itshengisa ukuthi ke use Mali Street eForwood Park eAlbertine yabonisa ukuthi imoto iyadonyisa ke ingaba ngalo ya 1853 la ya Mali Street imoto wayicisha yini? Yebo, ngayicisha imoto.
All right. Between 1853 and 1915, you start up the motor vehicle again at Mali Street.
Magareng ga 1853 le 1915 gona mola Mali Street le timile koloi la be la idumisha gape. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi phakathi kwakhe u1853 naye u1915 imoto yaduma edumiswa futhi ke khona eMali Street emuva kokuthi yayiseyicishiwe khona eMali Street.
In between these two times, 1853 and 1952, it gives me 22 minutes
bona ba re ge ba lebella nako e o e go tlogelle 1853 go ya go 1915 e ba ne ya metsotso e masome a babedi pedi.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso-ke ukuthi-ke ukusuka kuyena-ke u-1853 kuyoshaya-ke u-1915 ukuthi lokho kukunikeza-ke imizuzu ewu-22.
All right. From 1915 to 1920, after you have started the motor vehicle, then you drove to Collins Street.
Go tlogella ka 1915 le ile la tswela pele la hwetša go fitlhelele 1920 le ya mo Collins Street.
E bontšha bjalo.
That's how it reflects.
Sitshengisa kanjalo-ke nalana-ke ukuthi ngaye u-1915 u-1920-ke sahamba-ke kuyona i-Collins Street.
According to your observation, between Mali and Collins, are these two streets parallel to each other?
Go ya ka pono ya lena mebila e lebane na Mali le Collins.
Nka se fetolo ga re a ke bone a ke tseo ke tla le bana re a ke nka se kgone e fetola.
I will not be able to respond to that as I do not see the roads. I will not be able to know whether are they parallel or not.
Ukuthi-ke isimo-ke phakathi kwale migwaqo emibili-ke iMali kanye nayo i-Collins ukuma kwazi yakho ukuthi nime kanjani angiyiboni-ke lana phambi kwami azikho phambi kwami angeke-ke ngikhona ukuthi ngikuphendule loyo mbuzo.
Then when we further look at 1925, the car was idling.
Ge re tswela pele re ya fase re bona gore ka 1925 koloi e bentse e duma
At Mali Street.
mo mmileng ola wa Mali.
To see that, to dispute it.
Yes.
Yes,
Re bona.
I can see it.
Do you agree or disagree?
Le a dumela go ba ga le dumele.
Ke dumela re be idler.
I agree that it was idling.
Remember, sorry.
Ngiyavuma-ke ngiyabona ukuthi-ke imoto lena-ke yayi-idler-ke.
And furthermore, at 1930, the motor vehicle is still idling.
Ka 1930 e bontsha gore koloi e sa duma.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso-ke nokuthi yatshengisaka ukuthi ngaye u-1930 imoto yayisaduma-ke.
All right. The version of accused number 2 is that the first time he was assaulted, he was next to a garage, an engine garage.
Molatofatwa wa
But he
bobedi
wasn't precisely sure about the name of the garage, but he could see the garage from where he was assaulted.
molatofatwa wa bobedi o re yena la mathomo ge ne a bethwa o be a le kgauswi le garage le ge e le gore ga a sa gopola leina la gona eupia o be a kgona go bona garage.
Theleditše.
I am listening.
Umsolo wesibili-ke uthi la aqala khona ukushaywa kwakuseduze-ke negaraji akalikhumbuli-ke igama layo kodwa wabona-ke ukuthi kwakunegaraji la ashaywa khona umfakazi uthi ngilalele.
And it is his version that it was an open area because he was not assaulted inside the garage. It was opposite an open area.
Gape yena o re tulo ye o be le tulo ye bulegileng gauswi le yona garage ye we a se a bethelwe mo gare mo garageng mola mo go tshelwang gona eupia o re gauswi le garage.
Theleditše.
I am listening.
Ngilalele-ke uma uthi-ke la ashayelwa khona-ke wayengashayelwa khona-ke egaraji leyo kodwa-ke indawo nje evulekile eseduze nayo igaraji leyo.
And where he was assaulted, at the place which is opposite the garage, they are separated by that Grey Avenue.
O re gape mo a bethilweng gona tulo yeo e mo gauswi le garage eo e fapantšhitšwe ke yona tsela ela ya grey.
Sa theleditše.
I am still listening.
Ngisalalele-ke uma uthi-ke la ashayelwa khona-ke kuleyo ndawo-ke evulekile ihlukaniswa-ke yona-ke umgwaqo leyo lowo oyi-Grey Avenue.
My Lord, if I may be given time at least to calculate the minutes in which according to the version of the accused, reflecting from the time in which they
Yeah,
they
you do
stood.
so.
I would add 22 minutes. It's 25, 27, 32, approximately 37 minutes.
ore e ka tswa e tšere metsotso ye masometharo-šupa.
Theleditše.
I am listening.
uma uthi ke konke ke lokho noma kwathatha ke imizuzu ke ewu-37 ngisalalele.
And according to his version, that's when he said, when you parked at that place with Sergeant Mabena, that's when Jonathan joined you. After Jonathan, it was Mapumulo in company of Constable Buthelezi with a hard body, a white Nissan hard body.
Ore ka nako ewe lena le be le na le Mabena ke mo e leng gore Jonathan o ile a fihla a sepela le Maphumulo le Buthelezi a le ka gare ga koloi ya hard body.
Theleditše.
I am listening.
Uthi ke uma engitshela ke noma engichazela ke umsolo wesibili ukuthi yila khona ke wasefika uJonathan emuva kwalokho ke bafika yena ke uMaphumulo kanye naye ke uButhelezi ehamba ngemoto ke eyi hard body.
From 1930 up to 1935. That's when there was a movement. Here it reflects that the vehicle had an excess idle, but near Fraser Street, Albemarle, Germiston.
Ba re ge go tlogelela ka 1930 go iša mola go 1935 ke mo e leng gore koloi ile ya sepela eupša mo e bontšha gore ke excess idling mo mmileng ola wa Fraser mo Alberton.
Ke nnete.
That is correct. Just a moment. 1930 to 1935 shows that it was idling.
Okay. Lana ke iyatshengisa ke ukuthi ngaye u1930 ukuthi ke imoto iyayiduma khona ke kuseduze kwayo o iFraser Albemarle eJermiston.
So you would agree with me that the car was moved from Mali Fairwood Park in Alberton to Fraser Street in Albemarle, Germiston.
Le tlo dumellana le yena ge gore ke nnete gore koloi e tlošitšwe mo mmileng ola wa Mali mo Fairwood Park Alberton e išwa go mmila ola wa Fraser mo Albemarle, Germiston.
Ye ka ge e bontšha AVL.
Yes, as the AVL reflects.
Kuzovuma ke ukuthi lana ke imoto yasuka ke khona la eMarley Street eFairwood Park eAlberton yase iya ke eFraser Street Albemarle, Germiston. Nanjengoba ke itshengisa ke yona iAVL
1942, back to Collins.
Ka
Ignition off near Collins Street, Fairwood Park, Alberton.
Ka 1942 nako ke mo e leng gore le ile la boela mmileng ola wa Collins Fairwood Park Alberton ke ge koloi e timiwa.
Nnete.
That is correct.
kuyiqiniswa ke ukuthi kubhaliwe la ngo1942 imoto yacishwa ke yase buyela khona ke eCollins Street eFairwood Park Alberton.
Okay. 17 minutes past 8, you start up the motor vehicle at Collins Fairwood Park.
Metsotso
Alberton.
ye lesome šupa ka moraga iri ya seswai ke mo e leng gore mola mmileng wa Collins Fairwood Park Alberton lena le la dumiša koloi gape.
Nnete.
That is correct.
2017 imoto iyadunyiswa futhi ke khona ke eCollins Street Fairwood Park Alberton kuyiqiniswa.
Nnete.
I confirm.
At 22 minutes past 8, the car was driving from Mali Street and there was an excess idle, but the car was driving at Mali Street.
Ka metsotso e masomepedipedi ka moraga iri ya seswai thapama koloi e be e kgweetša mola mo Mali Street go be go ile gwa ba le gore e be le excess idle. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniswa ukuthi ngayo u2022 ukuthi imoto yayihamba ke eMali khona ke nalapha kubhalwe khona ke excess idle okusho ukuthi yayiduma ke khona ke eMali. Yebo ufakazi uyaqinisekisa lokho?
So further in at 2023, the motor vehicle's ignition at Mali Street was off.
Motsotso ka moraga mo be nako e le metsotso e masomepedi tharo ka moraga iri ya seswai thapama mola Mali Street koloi ile ya timiwa. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniswa kubhalwe ke lana ukuthi ngo2023 yase icishwa ke imoto khona ke eMali Street Fairwood Park Albertine.
At 8:25, which is 2025, at Mali Street, the car was start up again.
Ka metsotso e masomepedi tlhano moraga iri ya seswai gona mmile mola wa Mali koloi ile ya dimishwa gape. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniswa ke ukuthi ngayo u2025 imoto yase idunyiswa futhi ke khona eMali Street Fairwood Park Albertine.
At 8:30, driving the said motor vehicle at Mali Street Fairwood Park Albertine, it reflects excess idle at Mali Street. Do you agree?
Metsotso e masometharo ka moraga iri ya seswai ke ge ile gore koloi yewe ya kgweetswa gona mola Mali Street e bontšha excess idle gona mola mmileng wa Mali Street. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniswa ukuthi ngayo u2030 imoto ke iyahamba khona eMali Street Fairwood Park Albertine iphinde itshengise futhi ke imoto ukuthi iyaduma u-excess idle khona eMali Street Fairwood Park Albertine.
From 8:30 at Mali Street Fairwood Park Albertine up to 9:30, the car was still there idling excessively at Mali Street Fairwood Park Albertine.
Go tlogella metsotso e masometharo ka moraga iri ya seswai koloi e bentše e le gona mola Mali Street e dira ntho e leng gore ngwetswe excess idle go fitlheleleng metsotso e masometharo ka moraga iri ya senyane gona mo Mali Street. That is correct.
Yebo kuyiqiniso kubhalwe ke lana ukuthi kusuka ngayo u8:30 khona ke eMali Street kwaze kwayoshaya ke u9:30 sikhuluma ke ngeenkathi zasebusuku ukuthi ke imoto iyayisaduma ke ikhona lapho eMali Street.
At 10:10 at Mali Street Fairwood Park, the car was still there.
Metsotso ya lesome ka pele ga iri ya lesome bošigo koloi e be santše le gona mowe Mali Street. That is correct.
Ngayo ke imizuzu eyishumi ngaphambi kwayo ke ngaphambi kwalo ihora leshumi ke ntambama imoto yayisekhona lapho eMali Street. Yebo kunjalo
until 10:05
go fitlhelela metsotso ye mehlano ka moraga iri ya lesome. That is correct.
kwaze kwashaya ke u5:10 kuyiqiniso.
At 10:10, access idle, Fraser Street, Albemarle, Jamestown.
Metsotso ya lesome ka moraga iri ya lesome ke mo e leng gore koloi e be setse e le mo mmileng ela wa Fraser mo Albemarle, Jamestown. That is correct.
Nokuthi ke ngayo u10:10 ebusuku ke imoto ke isaduma ke noma isa idle ke eFraser Street, Albemarle, Jamestown.
Will you then confirm that there was a movement of that motor vehicle from Mali Street to Albemarle, to Fraser Street, Albemarle in Jamestown?
Le dumelana le ena na gore go ile koloi we ile ya shuthishiwa go tloga mo mmileng ola wa Mali go ya mo Fraser
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Uyiqiniso ngizovuma-ke ukuthi imoto yase ihamba-ke ukusuka-ke eMarley Street khona-ke eFellwood Park e-Albertine yaya kwistrata iFraser.
At 10:15, access idle back to Marley Street, Fairwood Park, Albertine.
Metsotso ye lesometlhano ka moraga iri ya lesome ke mo e leng gore ile ya boela ka kwa ga Marley Street.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Nokuthi-ke ngaye-ke u10:15 imoto-ke iyaduma-ke ukuthi-ke ibuyela khona-ke eMarley Street, Fairwood Park, Albertine.
18 minutes past 10, ignition off at Fairwood Park.
Metsotso ye lesome seswai ka moraga iri ya lesome koloi ya timiwa gona mo Marley Street, Fairwood Park, Albertine.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Uyiqiniso-ke nokuthi-ke ngayo-ke u22:18 umizuzu-ke u18 ngemuva-ke ko10 ebusuku yase icishwa-ke imoto eMarley Street, Fairwood Park, Albertine.
At 22:52, the car was start up again at Marley Street, Fairwood Park, Albertine.
Metsotso ye seswai ka pele ga iri ya lesometere bošigo ke ge e le gore koloi ya dumišiwa gape gona mo Marley Street.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi ngaye-ke u22:52 imoto yaduma futhi-ke noma yadunyiswa futhi-ke eMarley Street, Fairwood Park, Albertine.
At 22:58, 2 minutes to 11, the car was driving at Marley Street and it reflects an excess idle and later ignition off.
Metsotso ye mebedi ka pele ga iri ya lesometere e bontšha gore koloi e be e kgweetša gona mola Marley Street ya bontšha gape le excess idling ga e fetša ya timiwa.
Maybe for the sake of the record, council keeps on saying at this particular street,
What's that?
at Marley Street. Council keeps on saying the car was at a particular point, but the information is near that particular street, not at that particular street.
Beg your pardon, my lord. I'll put it as it reflects. I just missed the word near Marley Street.
Ba re nako e ka moka ge ntse go bolelwa ka mmila ola wa Marley ba re e kgauswi le mmila ola wa Marley ka mokgwa e tswelelang ka go.
Theleditše.
I am listening.
Ngilaleleke umshushisi-ke ukuthi-ke uqala nje ummeli ukuthi-ke ayibhekeke ngale ndlela ebhalwe ngayo lana ngoba ummeli uthi kwistrata esithize kodwa lana kubhalwe ukuthi eduze nestrata esithize.
At 11:05 at night, there was a startup of a motor vehicle, Marley Street.
Metsotso e metlhano ka moraga iri ya lesometere ke mo e leng gore koloi ile ya dumišiwa gape kgauswi le mmila wola wa Marley.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso-ke ukuthi-ke imihlanu imizuzu-ke libumbene la11-ke ntambama ihora imoto idunyisiwe futhi-ke eduze nestrata iMarley khona eFellwood Park e-Albertine.
At 11:10, at near Marley Street, there was an excess idle.
Metsotso ye lesome ka moraga iri ya lesometere gona mola kgauswi le mmila wa Marley koloi ile ya duma gape.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Nokuthi-ke iyishumi-ke imizuzu libumbeneke la11-ke ntambama imoto idunyiswa futhi-ke khona eduze naseMarley eFellwood Park e-Albertine.
11:15, Marley Street, excess idle.
Metsotso ya lesometlhano ka moraga iri ya lesometere bošigo ke ge e le gore koloi gape e tswela pele ya duma gona mo kgauswi le mmila ola wa Marley.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso kubhaliwe-ke lana ngo-23:15 ukuthi imoto iyaduma-ke khona-ke eduze nestrata iMarley khona eFellwood Park e-Albertine.
Same applies to 20:11 and 25:11.
le ka metsotso ye masomepedi ka mora iri ya lesometere le metsotso ye masomepedi-hlano ka mora ga iri ya lesome koloi bentse e duma gona mmileng ola wa mmali. That is correct, my lord.
Kanjalo ke ngo 20 past 11 kanye no 25 past 11 isaduma ke imoto khona lapho eduze neMali Street.
27 minutes past 11, the ignition off.
Metsotso ye masomepedi-šupa ka mora ga iri ya lesometere ke ge koloi e timiwa. That is correct.
Nokuthi ke ngayo ke imizuzu 27 emuva ke 11 imoto ke iyacishwa.
14 minutes past 12 midnight, start up the motor vehicle.
Metsotso
Mali Street.
ye lesome nne ka mora bošigo gare ke ge e le gore gona mo mmileng ola wa mmali koloi ya dumišwa gape. That is correct.
Imizuzu ewu-14 ke lembene-ke eleshumi ihora imoto iyadunyiswa futhi eduze naso istrada imali eFerwood Park.
At 19 minutes past 12 midnight, excess idle near Mali Street.
Metsotso ye lesome senyane ka mora ga bošigo gare ke ge e le gore koloi ya duma gape gona kgauswi le mmila ola wa mmali mo Fairview Park ka di 19 ja June 2020.
19 June. I said, oh, sorry. Hey. Sorry, presidency.
Le a dumela go ba ga le dumele? Yes, I can confirm as it was now on the next day, my lord.
Ngiyavuma ke ukuthi ngayo ke lemisuzu ke ewu-19 emuva ke wakhe u-12 ke ukuthi imoto ke manje ke isiyahamba ke chazwa ke ne-date ke yazo i-19 lezo zikaJune ke ngayo-2020 nanjengoba kwakuse elinye ke ilanga manje.
At 23 minutes past 12, the car is driving near Mali. Is it driving? It reflects driving Mali Street. Near Mali Street.
Metsotso ye masomepedi-tharo ka mora ga bošigo gare koloi e bontšha e le gore ya hwetša gona kgauswi le Mali Street, Fairview Park, Albert. That is correct.
Nokuthi ke ngayo ke u-23 imizuzu ewu-23 emuva kwakhe ke u-12 imoto isiyahamba ke khona eduze naseMali Street.
I wish you to please to note this one before I proceed.
Ba re ba kgopela gore lena le ele tlhoko ye ka pela ga gore ba tswele pele.
At all these times, Mali, Collins Street, Fraser Street, movement from Albemarle, Jimiston to Fairwood Park, Albertine. At all these times that have placed before this honorable court's record, where is the escort?
Ba re ka dinako tše ka moka tše ntše ba di bolela magareng ga mmila ola wa Mali, Collins le Fraser le mola Fairview Park le Albemarle, Jimiston. Batho bale ba be bentše ba le thuša ba le lateletše bona ba be ba le kae? They were present.
Kumele ufisa ukwazike ukuthi ngazo zonke le inkathi ayifundile ayichazile lana le ndawo ezahlukileke abo Mali, abo Fraser, abo Collins, zonke nje le ndawo ezifundiwe lana ukuthi laba ababeniphelezela ke phecelezi ke escort babe kuphi bona ke bendulo uthi babe khona.
If those you said they were present, do you mean Jonathan, Buthelezi, Maphumulo, the late Mabena, and yourself, including accused number 2?
Le ra gore le bolela ka Jonathan o be a le gona, Buthelezi o be a le gona, Maphumulo o be a le gona, le mohu a moya wa ge o tswele pele go robala ka khutso Mabena le yena o be a le gona, le molatofatšwa a ntše a le gona.
Nnete?
That is correct, I confirm, my lord.
Mangisho-ke ukuthi babe khona-ke ngisho-ke yena-ke uJonathan uMabhena ongase usewashona-ke uThelezi uMaphumulo mina-ke kanye futhi naye-ke umsolwa.
And at that time,
I'm sorry, my lord, as the court pleases. It appears that counsel and the witness might be at purposes, my lord, at cross purposes, because the counsel is talking about the time when they were coming from Carltonville, going back to Pretoria, and it appears that the witness now thinks that is referring to the trip to Morocco. If counsel can just clarify that to avoid misunderstanding.
Yes, Mr. Meyiwa.
my lord, I've made it clear that at the time when they were at Mali Street, Collins Street, and Fraser Street, I did not mention anything about Morocco. I didn't speak about Pretoria. Not. I was referring at all these times that are recorded according to this AVL. The witness has confirmed that they were escorted by the persons that he has confirmed on that night.
Sir, what's your answer?
Karabo ya lena e reng re ba re nakwela lebentlele le mo Mali le Collins lenche le koloi e duma nakwe ka moka ba bentse ba le gona bo Jonathan bo Buthelezi le ba bangwe ga senke ba bolele ka Morocco ga senke ba bolele ka Pretoria ba bolela ka nakwela lebentlele le mo gauswe le mmilaola wa Mali.
Ba tle ba re go itsa gona mo tšatšile.
They came and found us there.
A ba tswa le rena go tloga Carltonville ba seo.
They did not come with us from Carltonville as they were not there in Carltonville.
Laba-ke ekhulunywa ngabo-ke laba ebabuyibona-ke ababesiphelezela-ke phecelezi-ke ababesesipotha-ke ukuthi bona-ke basithola kuzona le ndawo lezi ey'shiwo ey'chaziwe-ke lana umeli aboma-Fraser aboma-Mali aboma-Collins khona lapho abezanga nathi-ke noma abahambanga nathi ukusuka eCarltonville babengekho bona eCarltonville.
Thank you. That is consistent with the version of accused number 2 when he said, upon your arrival at a place next to a particular filling station, Jonathan arrived later on, joined by Maphumulo and Buthelezi. That is consistent with the testimony that you just confirmed in court. Is that so, sir?
Barasel se bolelang se a tshwana le se se bolelwang ke molatefatšwa gore yena ge ne le mo tulong ela ke mo e leng gore Jonathan Buthelezi le Mapholobo ba ile ba fihla ba re di a tshwana le tše di boletsweng ke yena ke nnete na. That is correct.
Lokho kushoyo-ke kuyahambisana-ke nalokhu okushiwo uyena-ke umsolo wesibili ukuthi yebo-ke ila khona-ke uJonathan uButhelezi noMaphumulo bafika khona-ke uthi yebo uqiniso lokho.
And what is further confirming the version of accused number 2 is that there was a garage, there was a petrol station or a filling station. That is consistent with the version of accused number 2. Do you agree?
Ba re ntho e nngwe gape e leng gore e sebishana le dilo tše e leng gore molatofatšo wa bobedi o ba boditše tsona ke gore bogobe mo kgauswi gana mowe go be go na le petrol station e leng yona garage le a dumela.
Engine garage be re mo go yona.
That is correct. There is a engine garage where we were.
Futhi-ke lokho kuphinde futhi kuhambisane-ke nalokho kushiwo yena umsolo wesibili ukuthi lokho kwenzeka-ke kwindawo-ke ekwakune-garage khona-ke fakazi yebo ne-garage-ke u-engine la esasikhona.
From that time up to the time when I was about to take you on when you were leaving, but up to 0023, there's only thing that you are disputing is that accused number 2 was not assaulted by the police. That's the only thing that you can dispute now. Do you agree?
Bare dilo tše ka moka tše be ba di boletše ka pele ga gore ba botše potšišo ba re lena le a di dumela gore molatofatšwa le be lena le ena koloi bo Jonathan ba le fitlhetše mola selo se se tige se e leng gore lena le fapana le sona ke se sa gore molatofatšwa o bethilwe ke nnete gore lena le fapana le seo
ya go betha ona a ke dumele ke a gana.
I disagree that the accused was assaulted, my lord.
Kubona konke ke ngichazile kona ke lokhu engikushoyo kuwena ukuthi ke bafika ukuthi umsola naye uyakusho ke nani se garage bafika oJonathan abo maphumulo abo Buthelezi lokho uyavumelana nako into ongavumelani nayo ukuthi umsola washaya eyokuthi washaywa ke yona ke cha ngiyayiphikisa.
So those hours, minutes, seconds that you spent at that particular place, what were you actually doing?
Biale, nako yewe di iri metsotswana elena lebe li duty tulong yewe lebe li diraini
with those officers?
Le maphodisa auwe. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to explain.
Manje ke lesisikhathi ke lamahora lamanenjana futhi ke nalemizuzu ke enachitha ke lapho nanenza ngiyabonga ukuthi unginikeze lethuba leli lokuthi ngichaze.
Please.
Eloko pala mosagare ona le more yemeng sa sol garage ke be ke cheka mabili aka re sa ya kwa Carltonville eloko pala ke buditse bjalo.
Sorry, my lord.
If you would remember.
Sorry, my lord, to interject. May I confine this witness specifically at Fairwood Park? Not at. That's why I did not canvass anything in relation to what happened at Carltonville, Western Area, and so forth. My main concern, the explanation that I'm expecting from you, is about your presence in Albamali, your presence in Fairwood Park, and what were you doing at that particular spot?
Mr. Gomezulu, let the witness explain. Actually, thanks you. He says, thank you for giving me the opportunity to explain.
Yeah.
Have you heard people telling stories? Long ago, there was an old man with 6 teeth and a long beard.
Yes.
And Mr. Mnisi will say, in the past, there was this gentleman who told stories. So let's hear what he wants to say.
Bialere khoro e re le ka tswela pele le tlhaloshe le ge ile gore ntate Mngomezulu o be a sanya ke gore le tlhaloshe o ba nya ka gore le bolele fela ka tsela tša mali fela khoro e re le fenako lena le re botse nnonwane ya lena
ka ke tšetše ke boletse ke rile nako re sa ya Carltonville ke tsene garage ka cheka mabili aka
as I have explained
nako re sa ka bo 1988.
As I have explained that in the morning whilst we were still driving to Carltonville, I went into a petrol station to check my wheels.
Bese ngichazileke ngaphambilini ukuthi ke
My tires, my lord.
ngichazileke ngaphambilini ukuthi ke mangiphuma ke khona eCarltonville ukuthi sengizohamba ke ngangena ke kule garage ke la engangiyobheka khona ke isimo ke samasondo emoto engihamba ngayo.
Well, re boa re feta the Glen Mall mo ka re Komaro somewhere there.
Now, as we were coming back, passing the Glen Mall at or near Komaro,
Uma sesibuya ke sindlula ke lana ke kunenqanqathela ezitolo khona ke The Glen abayibiza ngokuthi ke kuse The Glen eKomaro noma eduze kwase Komaro.
I felt that the motor vehicle was now not balanced on its tires.
Ngase ngizwa ke ukuthi ke ayikho ke ibalance kwimoto ke kuma sondo ayo.
Omega sepela exit ke tlo joina N3 ke tlogela Bloemfontein ke tlogela Emalahleni.
I proceeded, and when I joined the N3, leaving the Emalahleni route,
mase ngizohlanga noma sengihlangana ke nayo N3 ngishiya ke lena ke eya eMalahleni.
ka kwa inkhamushi mo mabiling
I felt that there was a smell of some smoke,
Ngezwa ke ukuthi kwakunalelo phunga ke le smoke ke eliphuma kuwona ke amasondo.
bilo ka re e fela ke mali
and the vehicle was now losing its power.
Nokuthi ke manje ke aseyaphela ke manje ukuthi imoto lena ukuthi amandla khona kuyona imoto.
o me ka e gapeletša ke fihla mo off ramp ya fuel boots ya ke ka so ke fenya o tsena ka garage ya engine gona mo Albertine.
I forced the vehicle to proceed, and when we got to an off ramp, which I cannot recall which one is it, as we were now entering, whether is it Fairfour Park in Albertine.
Kodwa ke imoto lena ngase ngiphoqa ukuthi ke iqhubekeke noma ke iye phambili ke sayofika ke kunale off ramp ke engasayikhumbuli kahle noma kuse Fairfour yini khona Albertine.
o me ke phone brigadier ke nda ke brigadier o le mpha ba thatanyana ba ke tlo tsena mo garage ya engine ya gausu mo.
That's when I contacted Brigadier Gininda, informing the brigadier that the vehicle was now giving me problems. However, I will go into the engine filling station.
Ngase ke ngixhumana naye ke ubrigadier uGininda ngimtshela ke ukuthi imoto lena ingipha inkinga ke kodwa ke ngizongena kule garage ke engibonayo noma kule garage ke yakwa engine.
o me le phone leng bo Jonathan le bo Buthelezi ba tle ba le shireletse le memo.
And he said I should call Jonathan Buthelezi and others so that they will come and cover us up as we are standing at that place.
Mase engazisa noma engitshela ke ukuthi ase ngixhumana ke noma ngishayele ucingo ke laba abashiwo ke abo Jonathan abo Buthelezi ke ukuthi bayeze babe khona ke bazosilekelela ke nanjengoba simile kuleyo ndawo.
o me ma sergeant le sergeant Mabena we la ba phonela
And even Sergeant Mabena contacted them.
Kanti naye ke uSergeant Mabena waxhumana nabo noma wabashayela ucingo.
na ke tsena mo garage ka ema
And when I went into the garage, I stopped
engine garage
at the engine garage.
Mase ngena khona ke garage lapho ko engine garage ngema khona.
o me kole e ke tswa ke lebella ka mo be tswa mushi mo di braking tsa mo pele.
When I alighted the vehicle and looked around the vehicle, there was some smoke that was coming from the front brakes.
Nokuthi ke uma sengiphuma kuyona ke imoto lena uma ngibheka ke kuma brakes angaphambili ke kuthi kwakune smoke lesasiphuma khona lapho ke.
ka bona incha light ya oil mo dashboard ngape
And on the dashboard, it reflected a oil light.
Noma ubheka ke lana ke ku dashboard ubona ke ukuthi ke ibontsha ikhombisa ke i-light noma isibane ke se oil.
o me ba fitla bo Jonathan ka re be re ka se eme mo garage bushio re sa shirele ga re sepra le motshwariwa.
And indeed, Jonathan and his crew arrived as we could not be at the garage on our own without any backup, as we were in a company of an accused person.
Ngempela uJonathan kanye nabanye ke bafika ke khona lapho nanjengokuthi ke sasingeke ke sime ke egarage ebusuku ke futhi ke sihamba nomsolo noma ke umangalelo.
ena gape le Toyota Fortuner ya utsiwa kudu
And again, that type of a motor vehicle, a Toyota Fortuner, it's one of the vehicles that is targeted for car hijacking or car theft.
Futhi ke leyo moto ke esasihamba ngayo kuyi Toyota Fortuner ke imoto ke ephuma kabi ke ebhekwe ke ngamehlo abayifunayo ngokuthi ke uma bethatha imoto noma ke hijacking.
o me fitla mo ka o ntse bona ke itima ke lighter koloi
And as you saw that I was igniting it and stopping it,
Nanjengoba ubona ke ngokwalombhalo ke noma ngokwalombiko ke ngokwandlela ke ubunguza ngayo ukuthi imoto ibihamba ime ngidumisa ngiphinde ngicishe futhi.
ke le ke bula bonnet ya ke la lo oil ya ka e fase
when I opened the bonnet, I found that my oil was low.
Uma sengiyovula ke ngaphambili ke lokubizwa ngokuthi ke ibonnet ke ngathola ke ukuthi ke ioil yami ke isenzansi.
Ome ka re ke sepela ka yona mo koloing makamo ka matšatši.
As I had oil at all the times in the vehicle,
Ile ka e change ka mo engine.
I filled up the engine with oil.
Nanjengoba ngazo zonke ke izinkathi ioil ke yayihlezi ikhona ke emotweni ngase ngithela ke kuyona i-engine.
Ome ka starta gape.
I ignited the vehicle again.
Ngase ngidumisa futhi imoto.
Ome ka re ke a sepedisa ganyane ke re gore be matare tse lebe tse di tiile di sa nyako sepela botse.
And I tried driving the vehicle a bit, but the wheels were already stiff. They could not move back and forth.
Ngathi ke ngiyayihambisa nje kancane ke kodwa kwatholakala ke ukuthi ke amasondo ke manje aye ngavumi ke ukuthi ke aye phambili nasemuva.
Ke go bona nkitimile sebakanyana gore e fole.
That is where you see that I had switched it off for quite some time for it to cool off.
Ingakho ke ubona ke ngokwalombiko ke ukuthi kulana kunala khona ke engayicisha ke isikhathi ukuthi ke ithi ke ukwehla.
Ome di trata tse bolela ka tsona ke tshepa gore ke tša mo around garage a di gole le ka garage e mo gareng ga di trata tše tharo e sa e go bola botse.
And the streets that you are referring to, they could be around where the garage is situated, because that filling station, if I am not mistaken, it is between 3 streets.
Futhi ke le trata ongibuze ngazo ke sikhulula ke ummeli ubuze ngaboma Mali ubuze ngaboma Fraser ngaboma Collins ukuthi lezo itrata lezo ke azikho kude nendawo nala igarage ikhona ke uma ngikhumbula kahle noma uma ngenzi ifutha ke igarage ke ngathi nje ngabe kweyitrata eziwu3.
Alo le bo shetse le bo shego ara khona lo ka hwetsa thusho ya di mechanic ba rena ba sepodisa.
And as it was already at night, we were unable to get assistance from our mechanics from the police division.
Nanjengoba kwakusebusuku ke sasingekho kwisimo ke sokuthi sasingathola ke uncedo noma usizo bona ke abo mechanic basemaphoyiseni.
So re le mo actually ke bo Jonathan or ke bo Telezi ba fonela mechanic wa mathula charging.
Therefore, whilst we were still there, I'm not sure whether it was Jonathan or Butelezi who called a mechanic who was working independently.
Ngaleso sikhathi siselapho ke akusakhumbuli uThelezi uJonathan owafonela ke umechanic oyisebenzelayo.
Ome sala atla go le nya go bleediwa kutshwantshwe moya iheme.
And that mechanic came and he diagnosed the vehicle and said that vehicle needs to be bleeded as there is some air that needs to be removed from the brakes.
Wafika ngempela ke wafika ke wayidiagnose ke noma wayibheka ke washo ke ukuthi kwakunomoya ke kwakumele ukuthi ke ukhishwe kuma brakes.
Ome uyibone ayidlana kwetele so. Eka ke na borisanya go bona rena e tla khona go sepela or bianga ya aitla gore a put mechanic le aitlena kwetele nyana. So then remove around the go one remove around the tratachi. Tratachi I don't call it no ba house le garage.
Now as you see the vehicle idling for some time, it was when we were trying to move it around to see if it would be able to move further. And even as we were driving around those streets, the streets are nearby each other. That is where we were trying to see if the vehicle will be able to proceed.
Nanjengoba ke ubona ke ngokwawo umbiko lona ke kunesikhathi la khona ke imoto iduma isikhathi ke eside ila khona ke ayethi ke umechanic ke ayibheke khona ke isimo sayo imoto futhi ke sihamba kuzona lezi itrata leziyana ke oyichazile ke oyifundile khona lana ngoba lezi itrata iyitrato eyisondelene kwakubhekwa khona lokho ke ukuthi imoto manje ikusiphi isimo.
And whilst we were still there, we bought food and ate.
Sisekhona lapho ke ila ekwathengwa khona ke ukudla sasesidla.
Ntanzi a ra molebala le yena o jele le rena.
We did not forget Mr. Ntanzi as we ate. He also ate with us.
Azange simkhohlweke ukaNtanzi ngaleso sikhathi ke naye ke ayichaphela wadla nathi.
Well, ga re o bethilwe a ke tsona ka hlalosetša kgoro gore o bethile jwang kae ke sa mmona ne.
When he says he was assaulted, I do not know. Maybe he can explain it to the court on where was he assaulted and when was he assaulted, as I did not see him being assaulted, my lord.
Manje ke uma ethi ke bambamba.
As a court, please, my lord, the state begs leave to hand up the logbook of Sergeant Mukhani as Exhibit MM3,
MM3.
brackets 3.
It's in respect of which
It's the
motor
logbook
vehicle?
of Sergeant Mukhani for the dates from the 1st of June
1st June.
up until the 19th of June, and it also incorporates 29 May 2020 until 31st May 2020.
29th May 2020 until 31st?
29 May until 31st May.
Okay,
It's page 5. Yeah.
okay. So the defense has been finished with these logbooks.
Indeed.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
My lord, it has been handed by agreement.
Right?
By agreement, man.
Handed in by agreement.
That's correct.
What does that mean?
That means, my lord, after we have been finished with the copies, we agreed to, because there's nothing in dispute in relation to
The logbooks.
the logbooks. Hence, we don't see any reason, based on the reasons for the application by the state initially to reopen examination. That is mainly based on the version of accused number 2.
So the logbooks, the contents of the logbooks are not disputed.
Are not disputed.
Now, when you say by agreement, are you saying in terms of section 220, you are formally admitting the contents of the logbooks?
That's correct, ma'am.
Is that so, Mr. I'll come to you. Is that so, Mr. Malui?
Well, I think we can also use section 213, agreement between the parties.
213.
Yes, we haven't consulted the rest of council.
That's the point, Mr. Mnisi.
We don't have an objection, Madam, for accused number 3.
Mr. Nguman.
Thank you, my lord. I have no objection in respect for accused number 4. Thank you.
Okay. What does 213 say? Just read it for us.
As a court, please, my lord, section 213 states the following. Proof of a written statement by consent. In criminal proceedings, a written statement by any person other than an accused at such proceedings shall, subject to the provisions of subsection 2, be admissible as evidence to the same extent as oral evidence to the same effect by such person. Subparagraph 2, the statement shall purport to be signed by the person who made it and shall contain a declaration by such person to the effect that it is true to the best of his knowledge. It appears that
That section is not applicable.
yes, it's not.
Yeah,
applicable.
220.
It refers to a statement, so that would be.
I thought I was going to
section
call it
220.
a fresh.
Yes.
So in terms of section 220, it is admitted that the contents of how many of these logbooks? 3 logbooks. 4.
There's only one document, my lord.
Oh, one document.
Yes, only one document.
Yeah, okay. So in terms of section 220, it is admissible and it is agreed that it is so.
As a court.
Okay, thanks. Okay, fine. Right? So what happens after this?
My Lord, it must also be made clear before this honourable court that as the defence has requested the AVLs for the 22nd and 24th, it has been submitted by the state that the Toyota Fortuner was not used on that particular day. So
The 22nd
the 22nd and the 24th.
and the 24th.
Correct, my Lord. So another motor vehicle was used, but there was no tracking device according to the state.
Okay.
So in relation to the logbook on the said motor vehicle by Mr. Mukhano,
Yeah.
nothing has been furnished to the defense in relation to the confirmation thereof. As per our discussion with my colleague, Mr. Baloyi, he indicated that before the conclusion of the cross-examination, he will place it on the roll that the information relating to the logbooks for Mr. Mukhano will be canvassed with Brigadier Gininda.
With Brigadier Gininda.
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay. Is that so, Mr. Baloyi?
Indeed, my Lord, the search has been launched for those logbooks, and if and when they are located, they'll be handed up through Brigadier Gininda.
Gininda. Okay. That is the logbooks of the 22nd and the 24th.
Indeed, my Lord.
Okay, fine. Right, so what happens after that?
And also the 5th and the 25th.
On the 5th
The 5th as well as the 25th.
and the 25th.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the court has noted that.
God bless.
Right?
My Lord, may I proceed with cross-examination?
Yes, yes.
Mr. Mukhano, I've got a few more questions for you. I believe the last question when I ask you, if we go back to the 19th of June 2020, the proceeding.
19th of June.
Was it 2020?
Ntate Mogane, ka pele ga gore re tswelele pele nke re lena le sa le ka tlase ga kano ya gore le bolela nnete go botlhatsi ba lena.
Ke a dumela.
My Lord, before we proceed, we have just confirmed that Mr. Mukhano is still under oath.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Do you see the time reflecting 1828?
Le a bona nako mo e reng 1828.
Page.
Which page is it?
31.
21.
31.
Or 31. 1828. Ke bona 1826.
I see 1826.
Isikhathi engisibonayo ke lana u-1826.
Yes, below that is 1833.
Ka fase ga moo e re 1833.
Below 1826.
When is the date?
What is the date?
The date is the 19th.
Oh,
Bardi 19.
19.
Yes.
18,
1828.
1828, yes.
Yes, do you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
It says the start up the motor vehicle.
E re koloi e ile ya dumishiwa.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Then it was driving
Napile
at Chris Hani Road.
ya khwetsa mo mmileng ola wa Chris Hani.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Yebo kuqiniswa-ke kubhaliwe ukuthi imoto iyadunyiswa yase iyashayelwa noma iyahamba-ke umgwaqo iKhrizani
1833 at Dlamini, Soweto.
Ka 1833 e bontsha gore lebelele Dlamini Soweto
Excess idle.
le ya bona gore e be e duma.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
so iqiniswa-ke ukuthi ngo-1833 isedlamini noma yayisedlamini eSoweto iyaduma
1834 it's also idling, excess idling.
Napile ka 1834 e bontsha gore le gana mowe ya duma.
Ke bona.
Yes, I can see it.
ngiyabona ukuthi nango-1834 yayiduma
1842 it's driving from Coma Street.
Ka 1842 ya khwetsa go tloga mmileng ola wa Koma.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
qiniso ukuthi ngo-1842 iyahamba-ke kwistrado iKoma
All right. So at 1911 it reflects incident. Was it still in Soweto?
Napile ka 1911 e bontsha gore go na le tiragalo be e sa le Soweto.
E bontsha bja.
Yes, it shows like that.
nanjengoba usho-ke ukuthi ngo-1911 iyatshengisa-ke ukuthi kunesehlakalo noma isigameko yebo lokho kwakwenzeka-ke kusesiSoweto
Was it before you arrived at Moroka police station?
E be e le ka pele ga gore le fitlhe police station ya Moroka.
Re šetše re tswile Moroka.
We had already left Moroka police station at that time.
ngaleso sikhathi-ke sasesiphumile-ke police station yaseMoroka
Relating to the evidence that you have already tendered before this court when you left Fosloras court, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you were in a hurry to fetch the keys and the USB for the late Sergeant Mapena. Is that correct?
Ba re go ya ka kgatsi bo lefaneng ka bone lena le rile ge le tswa forong ya Fosloras lena le be le kitimetse gore le do lata dinotlolo le USB ya mohu Sergeant Mapena ke nnete.
Ke nnete be re ya gona ro e checka.
That is correct. We were going there to check for it.
kuyiqiniswa-ke ukuthi siphumile-ke eFosloras sasesijahele ukuthi siyobheka ikhiya kanye nayo-ke i-USB yakhe ongasekho uSergeant Mapena
So there's nothing prevented you when you departed from Fosloras court destined to Moroka police station from using a freeway.
Ga gona ntho e le tshireleditseng gore le seke la shumisha tsela ela ya freeway ge le tloga kgorong ya Fosloras le ya Moroka police station.
Nka tlhaloša so yona be so mara gantši ge re šomiša discretion ke tsona ke be ka se re na le go change ditsela for the safety of ourselves gore re tšhireletšega.
Indeed, there was nothing, my lord, that was preventing us from using the freeway. However, sometimes when we use our own discretion, especially for the safety, because we have accused people, then we would use alternative routes.
impela-ke akukho okwakusinqabela noma kwakuzivimba ukuthi sasingasebenzisa-ke u-freeway kodwa-ke iy'nkathi ey'ningi-ke siye sisebenziseke noma-ke siyicabangele thina sisebenzise yethu-ke imicabango ngoba-ke sibheka udaba lokuvikeleka kwethu nokuthi sihamba-ke nabasolwa sishintshe-ke umzila noma-ke umgwaqo esihamba ngabo.
Yes, that I understand and I appreciate it. But the fact is, you can change the route, but my worry is you stopped more than 3 times before you reach Moroka Police Station.
ba kwishisha gore lena le ka khona gore le fetole ditsela le berekishe tse leng gore lena le ka rata go di berekisha go ya ka mogwe leng gore lena le naganne ka bona eupia selo se leng gore se a ba tshwenya ga jwale ke gore lena mo tseleng ya lena re be le ya Moroka le eme nako tse ka fetang tse tharo go ba maga a fetang a mararo re be le ya Moroka Police Station.
Nka se fetolo ka go gopola re eme ga tee nako la re reka metsi le disimba mala ka nong go potsa gape ga gore phosho ya dira yona maybe a ke a e bona mo AVL list.
I would not be able to respond to 3 stops. However, you could maybe remind me. The only stop that I remember is the one when we went to buy water and then we drove to Moroka. However, maybe a mistake happens. You may be able to show me, as I did not see it on the AVL. I did not see those stops on the AVL.
Mhlambe wena kusunganjengisa ke uma uthi ke sema amahlandla amathathu mina ngikhumbula ke lehlandla leli esema ngalo sothenga ke amanzi kanye nama chips uma kuukuthi angikubonanga ke la kumbiko we-AVL mhlambe usungangikhombisa.
All right. Just for the benefit of your information, I won't go as per the way I was asking you. I'll remind you that you stopped at the Ring Road. Do you remember that?
Ba batla le go potsa ba ka se ka mogwe ene gore bentse ba le botsa ka gona batla le go potsa gore lena le ile la ema mo mmileng wala wa Ring le sa gopola. That is correct.
Ebe go qiniso sema ke Ring Road.
You stopped at Chris Hani Road.
La ema gape mo mmileng wala wa Chris Hani.
Hey, I
do not recall us stopping there, but I am listening.
Just to remind you, I even said you stopped there for 10 minutes.
Do
you remember that?
Pele ke fetola re ka boela go yona ka e bona gape because a ke nya go fetola ntho ke sa go gopolang because mabane o tšatši la mabane le fetile.
Before I respond, my lord, can we go back to that point, because I do not want to respond on something that I do not recall, as yesterday has passed.
Ngaphambilini kokuthi ngiphenduleke lapho ukuthi ngemali imizuzu eyishumi eChrisani eRoad ngicela ke sibuyele kuloko ngingaphenduli ukuthi ngingayazi noma ngingayikhumbuli ngoba ke ela izolo ke selidlulile.
All right, let's go to 0601
Barrego 0601
and 0611.
0611.
Same date.
Are you referring to the same date?
06, same date, the 19th.
Bar lona le tšatši le wela di 19.
06.
Yes, I can see it.
And 0611, do you see that?
Le 0611 le yes, I can see it.
0611
You said GPS unlocked until or near Chrisani Road.
E ngotse gore GPS unlocked mo mmileng ola gausi le mmila ola wa Chris Hani. Yes, I see it.
Ngiyabona ke la bhalwe khona ke ukuthi GPS unlocked eduze ke nomgwaqo eChrisani.
That was the second stop. You agree?
Ore ke mo bele hona gabedi la bobedi.
That's a good place, Malaki. Can council maybe indicate on what basis does it say GPS unlocked is equivalent to bringing a vehicle to a standstill?
No. I didn't say that. I said it reflects, according to the AVL, it shows GPS unlocked. That's what I said. Maybe I didn't hear myself, but it reflects GPS unlocked. Is that not so, Mr. Mkhari?
ba re go ya ka AVL ye e bontšha gore e ngwadile GPS unlocked.
ka ge mabane ke le fetoge ka le gore GPS unlocked a ke tse re ra go reng mara a sanka ra ema go bala be re driver.
Like I responded yesterday, my lord, I said I do not recall, I do not know what does GPS unlocked refers to. However, I recall that we never stopped, we were driving.
Bengishilo ke izolo ukuthi u-GPS unlock lona ukuthi usho ukuthini angikwazi lokho noma angazi kodwa ke ngikhumbuleke simile sasiqhubeka ke sishayela noma sihamba.
All right, let's get to the third one. 15
Re ya go ya boraro.
At 15:58, you were driving.
Kana go rebe e re 15:38 le be le kgwetša. 15:38. Is it 15:30 or
15:80? 15:58.
15:58?
Ke bona
Yes, I can see it.
Below it, it's 16:16.
Ka fase ga yona e re 16:16.
ya ke bona
16:16.
oh 16 yeah ke 16:05 seconds ke bona.
Yes, I see 16:16 and 05 seconds.
In terms of the AVL, what were you doing there? What?
Go ya ka AVL e re be le dirang mo
koloi sa le ya tima.
the vehicle ignition was turned off.
Ngoba le AVL ke ngo 16:16 lona ke ngibuzwa ngaye imoto icishiwe
Until 18:28.
Go fitlhella ka 18:28.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
kuyiqiniswa ukuthi kwaze kwashaya ke u18:28.
Were you still going to fetch the keys and the USB?
Le be le santse le ilo lata dinotlolo le USB.
Ka tšetše ke tlhalošitše re fihlile kwa ke ka mogare ga police station ya Moroka.
As I have previously explained, we arrived inside the Moroka police station.
Bese ngichazile ngaphambili ukuthi safika kwakungaphakathi police station yaseMoroka.
Ome Sergeant Mabena a tsena ka mogare.
And Sergeant Mabena went inside.
Wangena ke uSergeant Mabena ngaphakathi.
Gomme ba sale ba mthusha tsero mo charge office kana kana ba go tsena go etelle gore ba founele motho a lebetse go di key mo office ya gagwe
And
USB.
I think he was assisted at the charge office with maybe calling the particular person whom he had left his keys and the USB.
Ngicabanga ukuthi ke babemsiza khona ke e-charge office ukuthi ke baxhumane nalomuntu ayeshiye ikhiya ne-USB e-office lakhe.
And gape ka re beile ka la bohlano batho ba chaishitse na go fihla ngola.
And again, as it was on a Friday, people had already knocked off when we arrived.
Futhi ke kwangolesihlanu abantu ke babesebeshayisile ke bephumile emsebenzini ngathi sifika khona lapha.
Ome o la tlhalosha gore ba re motho wa tla a meemele.
And he explained that they informed him that that particular person was coming, so he had to wait for that particular person.
Uchazileke ukuthi bathe kuyena umuntu loyo ke uyeza acela ukuthi amlinde.
Ke ba ka le gore meng la go etelele so.
And that is the reason that made us to stop for such a long time.
Isizathu ke leso esabangela ukuthi ke simeke lesi isikhathi eside kanje.
Who will come and confirm that evidence? Because
Imam.
who will come and confirm that evidence? Because Sergeant Mabena is no more, and there's no name of the person Sergeant Mabena spoke to.
Ke mang o ka tlang a tlo tlhatsela dilo tšeo di bolelang a dumellana le tsona ka lebaka la gore lephodisa Sergeant Mabena ga a sa phela gape ga gona motho o e leng gore wa bolelwa leina la motho le le bolelwang gore Mabena o be a emetse mang.
Ka be ke ke tswa ke mang ne ke tla le botsa ba a ke mmona ka re na be ke dutse le ntantsi mo koloi.
If I knew who that person was, I was going to tell the court. However, I did not see that particular person as I was seated with Mr. Ntanzi in the vehicle.
Kumele ufuna ukwazi-ke ukuthi manje-ke isiqinisekiso salokho sizotholakala kanjani ngoba-ke uMabhena akasekho-ke emhlabeni, alikho-ke negama lalo muntu angena akhuluma naye ngaphakathi. Futhi uma bekuthi bengilazi igama laloyo muntu bengizoyitshela-ke le nkantolo ngeshwa-ke mina kangizange ngimbone ngangihlezi noNtanzi emotweni.
I'll ask the court to reject that part of evidence.
Ba re bone ba tlo kgopela kgoro gore e gane botlhatsi bowe ba lena botlhe bo le bolelang ka bone ba gore lile la ema Mabhena a tsena Mabhena a tswa a le tlhalosetsa ba re ba tlo kgopela gore kgoro e gane botlhatsi bowe.
A ke tsebe kgoro e tla decide gore ya botse gore ba e botse.
I do not know. I will leave that in the hands of the court.
Ukuthi-ke uzocela inkantolo-ke ukuthi lobo bufakazi lobo-ke ingabamukeli, angazi mina isinqumo sothathwa inkantolo leso.
Did you transport accused number 2 on the 13th of July 2020?
Ka di 13 ja July 2020 lile la sepedisha molatofatswa wa bobedi.
A sa gopola ka re tshwanetse ke tsona be rile ka re be re sepela di pleke tse dintsi nka se re aowa mara most of the time ba sepela na mara ele gona be re ya ka tlhaloša botse go kgona go ara.
I do not recall. Perhaps if I could be given the location where we were going, myself and the accused, because in most of the occasions I would be the one that was transporting him. However, I do not recall where were we going on the 13th. I will not say yes, I was transporting him, or no, I was not transporting him, since I do not recall.
Ukuthi-ke ngeyi-13 zikaJuly ngahamba naye-ke umsolo wesibili kunyaka ka-2020, angeke ngithi yebo, angeke ngithi cha. Mhlampe-ke uma kuwukuthi ngakhunjuzwa-ke ukuthi sasiya kuphi nendawo-ke ngoba-ke kuningi indawo la sasiya ngakhona-ke futhi-ke isikhathi esiningi wayehamba nami.
Yes, I'll remind you, because that was the first day accused number 2 appeared in Tlhabane court.
Ba re batla go potsa ka lebaka la gore ke lone letšatši la mathomo mo molatofatswa wa bobedi a ileng a tswelela kgorong ya Tlhabane.
That is not correct.
Hello? There's no?
That is not correct.
I see, it's not correct.
That's the version I'm putting to him.
Ba re ke ntho e leng gore ba ya le botsa gore lena molatofatswa o tsweletše ka di 19 June
13 July 2020. That's the version of
Futhi-ke ummeli uzokukhumbuza noma uzomtshela ubufakazi ukuthi-ke lelo langa lelo-ke aqeda ukulisho-ke manje lazo langeyi-13 kuyena-ke uNtulikazi ku-2020 kwakuyilanga lokuqala ayovela ngalo enkantolo-ke umsola wesibili umshushisi-ke uyaphikisa uthi cha akulona iqiniso lelo.
Ase nnete ka wa ka tšhatšitekiso reng o tsweletše pela ga kgoro ya Tlhabane ka di 22 of 6 2020 date of appearance e bontšha ka mo setlankaneng sa tšhatšite.
That is incorrect, as the charge sheet that I have in my possession, it reflects that the accused appeared on the 22nd of June 2020 in Tlhabane court.
Akusilona-ke iqiniso lelo uyasho-ke nayo ifakazi manje kumshushisi eshilo ukuthi-ke kwakungeyi-22 kuyena-ke uNhlangulana 2020 uma umsolo wesibili eyobingelela imantshi ihlandla lokuqala eTlhabane.
Gape ka di 13 tsa June be ke sokopanile yena 13 July. Okay, no, sorry
My apologies, the witness just said on the 13th of June he had not met the accused. However, as he is corrected, he apologizes.
Sorry, Miss Sergeant, what was the charge on the 22nd of June, as you say,
Molato o be barositše
when accused number 2 appeared?
molato o be barositše molatofatswa e be e leng ge ne a tswelela kgorong.
Really possession of unlicensed live ammunition.
Possession of unlicensed live ammunition, my lord.
Icala ke awayelithweswa njengoba ngithi ke wavela ke nge-22 ke uNhlangulana 2020 kwakutholakala ke nazo inhlamvu ngongekho emthethweni.
May I proceed?
Yes, yes.
Sir, I've just informed the court that I don't have the records for the AVL on the 22nd of June 2020. Neither the logbook of the vehicle that we're driving on the 22nd of June 2020. And yet you want the court to believe that accused number 2 is misleading the court or is not telling the truth.
Ba re bona ba fetsa go botsa kgoro gore ga bana tsona di document tša AVL gape le di logbook tša gore di 22 tša June molatofatšwa o be a le gona kwa kgorotshekelo gape le nagane jwale le nyaka gore kgoro e dumele gore molatofatšwa ga a bolele nnete.
Advocate Ngomezulu, I need AVL go bana bohlatse ya gore bongani sa dintanzi o tsweletse pele ga kgoro ya Hlabane shibo ke e tšhatšhile a ke tsona a le nako e exhibit RR.
Advocate Ngomezulu, we do not need the AVL records or the logbook to show that the accused appeared at Hlabane court. We have evidence here which is marked as exhibit RR that Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi appeared in Hlabane court.
Asidingi ke AVL kuloko kushoyo ukuthi ke ngalelanga ke langa 22 kuNhlangulana uBongani Sandiso Ntanzi wabingelela ke imantshi iyaseThlabane na i-charge sheet ngiphethe kumina bayiphawulileke nanjengo exhibit RR.
Because you're an officer, you will not need it. I don't think you'll see the relevance of that AVL. But let me just put it this way, just to cut matters short. On the 13th of July, 2020, that's the first time accused number 2 was changed his clothes. Constable Buthelezi phoned the girlfriend to bring the clothes of accused number 2 because they were in a hurry for him to appear in court. He was not going to appear in court on the clothes that he was wearing on that day.
Bare lena ka lebaka la gore le lephodisa
Since he was arrested.
le ka se bone botlhokwa ba gore di AVL je we ba di tlhokela jwaje ba re bona molatofatšwa ka di 13 tša July go ba ka se tswelele le kgorong a be a apere dikobo tše be a di apere go tlogeleng nako ela a sale a tshwarwa jwaje lephodisa Buthelezi le ile la letsetša moratiwa wa molatofatšwa wa bobedi le mmotša gore a tliše dikobo tše diswa ka go itlhakanela gore molatofatšwa a tlo kgona gore a fetole dikobo tše tlabeng a di apere e seng a tswelele kgorong ka dikobo tšela tše ba di apere nako e ge be a tshwara.
Advocate Ngomezulu ke ganana le lena ka re go gopola botse motho ba dila ka diaparo le family gantši be le the Sergeant Mabena a ke tsona Buthelezi o tsena kae mo ka gore neno ba go no escort.
Advocate Ngomezulu, I would dispute that type of a version because the person that was dealing with the family and the changing of clothing, it's the late Mr. Mabena.
Yes.
Because Mr. Buthelezi, he was just escorting us. I do not know how does he feature on the change of clothes.
Engizokutshela kona ke ukuthi kusho ummeli ke kufakazi uConstable Buthelezi waze ke waxhumana ke nentombi yakhe ke umsola wesibili ke ukuthi ilethe ingubo zokuthi ke ashintshe noma ke agqoke ngoba wayengazi ngoba ngeke ahamba enkantolo ngazo lezo i13 ka July esagqoke leziyana bekade egqokile ngaphambili uthi ke maphendulo ufakazi ukuthi ke Advocate Ngomezulu angazi ke noma mina-ke ngizophikisana-ke nalokhu okushoyo ukuthi uButhelezi uhlangana kuphi-ke nokulethwa kwey'mpahla zokuthi kuyashintshe agqoke umsolo wesibili ngoba-ke yena wayesiphelezela escort nje kuphela. Umuntu okwakuyena-ke owayexhumana nomndeni ukuthi-ke kulethwe-ke iy'mpahla noma-ke ingubo zokuthi agqoke kwakungasekho noma useshonile uConstable Mabena.
Okay, but you will not dispute the fact that accused number 2 on that day was the first time to change his clothing.
Ifela lena le kasana tjane le bona ge ba re molatofatso wa bobedi e be la matho le khala mathomo a apara dikobo tše dingwe tša tšilego
nka gana na lena ga re go gopola botse Sergeant Mabena o ile a rentša diaparo tša gage mara ke sa gopola ditleleni mara tšona sa le diatla.
I dispute that because if I remember very well, Sergeant Mabena arranged for the accused clothes. When did they bring the accused clothes? I would not recall. And my lord, I see accused number 2 is raising his hand.
Phambi ukuthi umelazeke kwena-ke uthi-ke kulokho-ke kodwa ngeke kuphikiseke ukuthi ngalela langa lange-13 zikaJulayi kwakukoqala-ke ukuthi alethele ezinye iy'mpahla-ke uma-accused number 2 uthi-ke ngizophikisa-ke lokho ngoba-ke uMabena zalethwa-ke kodwa ngazi ukuthi nje bayiletha nini.
Thank you, Madam. May I just clarify this, Mr. Mukhanda? According to the instructions of accused number 2, there is Buthelezi, the friend to accused number 2, and Leboheng, the girlfriend of accused number 2.
Bare nke ba tlhakishe taba e gona le motho o e leng gore ke mogwera wa molatofatšwa wa bobedi e ba mmitšang ka Buthelezi gape gona le Lebogeng e leng ngwanyana o ratanang le molatofatšwa wa bobedi. I am listening.
Ngimlalele-ke uma uthi ukhona uButhelezi okuwumngani wakhe umsolo wesibili bese khona-ke noLebogeng okuyena othandana naye-ke umsolo wesibili.
According to his version, he says Constable Mabena, or the late Mabena, is the one who spoke to Leboheng to bring the clothes.
Bare go ya ka yena molatofatšwa wa bobedi o re mohu Mabena ke yena a boletšeng le ngwanyana a ratanang le molatofatšwa wa bobedi gore a tiše dikobo tša gage.
Ka re tšetše ke boletše e ka no ba nnete ka re ke rile ke Sergeant Mabena o ba le a thuša ka lefapha leo la diaparo le family ya gage le gore girlfriend ya gage ke mang a ke tsebe lebitso.
As I have stated that it was Sergeant Mabena that was dealing with the clothing, it could be true that he had spoken to those people. However, on who the girlfriend is, I do not know.
Uthi ke ummeli umabhena-ke wayekhulumisana nolebuhengu ukuthi bekuyena-ke oletha inqubo zokuthi-ke aqoke-ke nanjengoba bese ngishilo-ke ukuthi impela ongasekho-ke uSergeant Mabhena ukuthi-ke igama lentombi-ke athandana nayo ubani, lokho-ke angikwazi.
And my correction was based on the fact that the clothes were brought by Buthelezi, who is the friend of accused number 2, and not Constable Buthelezi. I was under the impression because he said that Buthelezi also testified in court.
Bare bona bebaki poshulla motabengela ya gore dikobo di tlisitswe ke Buthelezi is Buthelezi mogwera wa molatofatso eseng Constable Buthelezi gobane molatofatso ba ba botse gore Buthelezi wa gona le yena o buletse kgoro.
Nka sa gale gore dikobo di aparo di tlile mara nka se tsebo botse di tlile ning di tlile le mang nka wa re ra kgonega re tlosa Sergeant Mabhena a tle a hlatse go maroba le gape.
My Lord, I will not dispute on who has brought the clothes. However, I would not know when were the clothes brought, and if it was possible, we would resurrect Sergeant Mabhena so that he come and testify, and then he goes back and rest in peace.
Uthi-ke ummeli ebe lapho-ke umsolo wesibili bemlungisa khona-ke bemtshela ngoButhelezi-ke ngoba ummeli yena becabanga ukuthi-ke uConstable Buthelezi ngoba ushilo-ke ukuthi uButhelezi onikezile ngobufakazi la enkantolo. Engikwazi ukuthi yebo ingubo zona-ke zalethwa-ke ukuthi zalethwa nini, lethwa ubani-ke angazi-ke noma ngeke ngikwazi-ke lokho mhlawumbe kuba bekungenzeka-ke bese ngathi sibuyise yena-ke uMabhena uma seqedile kuchaza abuyeleke kuyona-ke indawo yakhe yokulala ngokuthula.
The last question. When you were traveling from Pretoria North to Carltonville and to Rustenburg, were there any toll gates that you had to pass through?
Bare putsho ya mafelelo gebe le sepela le toga Pretoria North la ya Carltonville la boya la ya Phokeng go be gona le di toll gate mo mmileng tshebe le feta go tsona.
A ga ya Phokeng ke tsemalwa.
When we were going to Phokeng, there were few toll gates.
Ingabe-ke uma nihamba-ke eCarltonville Pretoria North ePhokeng ngaba khona yini ama-toll gates enadlula kuwona-ke? Yebo-ke ePhokeng ayekhona-ke ambalwa-ke.
Thank you, Manoj.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Mnisi.
Just few aspects.
Yes.
Please, my Lord, just before Advocate Mnisi starts with cross-examination, there's a witness who's outside who's only available today, my Lord. The expert on car movement, and I'm just wondering if we cannot stand down the cross-examination of Sergeant Mohani so that we take his evidence.
Mr. Mnisi, you're the boss. What do you say?
I've got no objection, my lord.
He says he doesn't have an objection. Are you able to attend court until about 3:30?
Le ka khona gore le dile khorongo fitlhella mosomo metsotso ya 30 ka moraga iri ya boraro.
Re tla ema ke matsogong a lena.
I will wait, my Lord, as I'm in your hands.
But I don't have money to buy you lunches.
Ba re ga bana tšhelete ya go le rekela metsi le mazemba.
Okay. This evidence will stand down then.
Botlhatsi ba lena bo tla ema nakonyana go sana le tlhatsi e nngwe e leng gore e tlamehile e fane ka botlhatsi.
Ngiyacela kumshushisi ukuthi-ke ake eme-ke uSergeant Mufane kunobufakazi-ke oyena-ke otholakala nje namhlanje kuphela-ke lona uwungoti-ke mayelana nokuhamba kwey'moto noma-ke ungoti kule AVL report.
We are indebted to my learned friends and and the court's indulgence. The state calls the next witness is Mr. Michael Jacobus Dupree.
Michael Jacobus Dupree.
Dupree, my lord. The witness name is not on the list.
Okay.
The witness is going to testify in respect of exhibit MM2. My lord, I've indicated to my learned friends this morning that the witness has printed his own report, my lord. It's exactly the same as exhibit MM2. However, he split his report in terms of dates: the 1st of June, the 5th of June, the 16th of June, the 18th of June, the 19th of June, as well as the 20th of June, my lord.
Okay.
There will thus be cross-reference between his bundle that he printed as well as exhibit MM2 that has already been handed up. We just request, my lord, that his bundle that he printed to be handed up as exhibit MM2. Maybe just to distinguish it from the existing exhibit MM2, we can call it exhibit MM2A.
MM2A, ne?
Yes, MM2A.
Yeah,
I'll
thank you.
just ask my learned friend just to add A to the exhibit.
Which language do you prefer to testify in, sir?
My lord, I'll do it in English.
English. Okay. Yes, swear the witness.
Your full name, please.
Michael Jacobus Dupree.
Okay. Do you have any objection in taking the place type oath?
No objection.
Do you consider the place type oath to be binding on your conscience?
I'll do.
Do you then swear that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth? If so, you raise your right hand and say, so help me God.
So help me God.
The witness is sorry.
Mr. Dupree, where do you work?
My lord, I work for a company called Sea-Track Fleet Management.
Sea-Track.
That's correct.
Mr. Dupree uthi-ke usebenzela inkampani ebizwa-ke ukuthi-ke i-Sea-Track Fleet Management.
And what is your position at that company? What capacity are you employed by that company?
I'm currently employed in the capacity of the Chief Operations Officer.
Isikhundla sami-ke enginaso noma engisibambile-ke lapho-ke ngiyinhloko-ke kuyindlela-ke yokusebenza noma ekwenziwa ngayo-ke umsebenzi, Chief Operations Officer.
And what type of duties do you perform in the company?
My lord, I'm primarily responsible for the operational execution within the company. That includes the everyday operations and also then training within the operations.
Mina-ke okwami ukubheka-ke nje ukuthi ukwenziwa komsebenzi-ke malanga namalanga-ke nokunikeza futhi-ke ngokuqeqesha laba kufanele ukuthi-ke baqeqeshwe noma-ke bathole i-training ngaphakathi-ke emsebenzini.
And what type of company is Sea-Track Fleet Management?
My lord, Sea-Track provides fleet management solutions to the broader public and public sector, private sector, whereby we supply or provide solutions that allows various companies and individuals to manage their vehicle fleets and assets.
Okwethu-ke ukuthi-ke thina-ke kumphakathi-ke nenkampani ey'thize-ke sinikezeke ngomsebenzi lapho-na-ke abantu bakwisimo-ke noma bakhonayo ukuthi-ke babheke-ke ukuhamba-ke kwey'moto zabo.
Can you just explain, if you say providing a solution, what do you mean?
Solutions are provided by installing various types of hardware to vehicles or assets, allowing customers to view the asset in a platform that allows them to manage such asset to the better of the business.
Thina-ke sikwenzayo ukuthi-ke sinikeza-ke kwiy'nkampani-ke kubantu-ke abay'mele-ke iy'nhlobo-ke ey'thize zaloko okubizwa ngokuthi-ke ama-hardware kanye futhi-ke nendlela-ke sinikeze-ke iy'xazululo kwindlela-ke zokuthi umuntu akwazi noma inkampani ekwazi-ke ukuthi-ke ibheke ilandelele ibone-ke ukuthi lokho okuwokwakhe noma unayo-ke noma imoto noma yini ihamba kuphi isebenza kanjani.
And for how long have you been attached to C-Track Fleet Management?
My Lord, I started my employment in 2001, so that makes it around about 22 years.
Ngaqala-ke ukusebenza khona lana-ke ngo-2001 okusho ukuthi iminyaka ewu-22 leyo.
You have prepared a bundle of documents that serves as Exhibit MM2 in brackets A.
That is correct, my Lord.
You have also been shown Exhibit MM2, is that correct?
That is correct, my Lord.
Nawo-ke ama-bundles lana-ke noma ama-documents alungiselwe yimina naye-ke MM2 lona-ke ekuyena losetshenziswa la enkantolo ngimtshengisiwe.
Can you put on record the type of training that you underwent?
My Lord, in the 22 years that I've been employed in the company, we started off with product training at the time, and as time progressed, I was involved in training, development of old products, current products, new products, and also closely involved in the design of the product within the company on functions and features. So the product as it is today, I'm fairly confident that I understand and know how it works from beginning to end.
Ukuqala-ke uma sesiqala-ke uqeqesho esaluthola-ke noma engalithola-ke ngakuyona-ke inkampani kwakuqeqeshwa-ke mayelana-ke ne-product-ke noma amagama lokhu esisebenza ngakho noma lokhu esikusebenzisayo-ke ngokuhamba-ke kweminyaka-ke ila engibe ingxenye khona-ke ekuqeqesheni-ke mayelana nayo-ke i-product leyo ekuyithuthukiseni kanye futhi-ke ngasho-ke manje ukuthi kule minyaka ewu-22-ke le product leyo-ke ukuthi-ke i-product-ke engiyaziyo-ke ukusebenza kwayo.
Is there someone within the company, within C-Track Fleet Management, who's called upon to testify on the product from time to time?
My Lord, that mostly falls on my responsibility to do such in various types of courts or disciplinary hearings.
Kumina-ke noma-ke umsebenzi-ke noma ngithwala lowo-ke esemahlombe ami-ke ukuthi-ke ngiye-ke kwiyinkantolo ezahlukahlukeneke noma-ke kuyigxawuke ezoqondiswa kwey'gwegwe la uma kufanele ukuthi kube nomuntu onikezwa ngobufakazi.
Can you just place your experience on record as far as testifying in court is concerned?
My Lord, if memory serves me right, I've been testifying in various courts for at least 14 plus years, testifying on the functionality, features, product specification, the application thereof, how it is deployed in the field, how it functions, what information it provides. I've testified in high court, criminal, civil, I've testified in regional courts, CCMA matters.